Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and I'm coming to you from Palermo in Sicily, Italy. I was in Rome yesterday for a conference, and I'm here now. And I'm going to talk to you about how the Islamabad talks between the United States and Iran are progressing. One major development that has taken place is that the talks have now become quite direct. So that's a development. So the first session apparently was the same old style of negotiations with the intermediaries. So Shehbaz Sharif was running from one room to another room, translating this, etc. So apparently, I guess both the parties were not very satisfied, or they thought it's better that they negotiate and talk directly. And so the second round of talks that are taking place are happening quite directly. But I want to, before we go any further, I'm going to share with you what the basics starting point is. And after that, I'll show you something really funny from Indian media. The Indian media is going really, really crazy about this. So it'll be fascinating to see what the Indian media is up to. But first, let me just share with you what these are the 10 basic points that the Iranians had presented to the United States. And that was a starting point. So this is where they have started. It doesn't mean that Iran is going to get all the 10 points. First of all, the US did make a concession to Iran by saying, okay, we'll put our 15 points aside. We will start with your 10 points. There's also a lot of rumors going on in the media that the United States has allowed $6 billion, which were in Qatari accounts, which were frozen, which belonged to Iran, have been released as a precondition for this talks. I'm not very sure whether that is valid. At least there's no confirmation of that. But anyway, look at this 6 core points. Number one is that there will be some kind of an agreement that there is no mutual non-aggression, and there will be total ceasefire. These are the two conditions: that no mutual aggression, so the US will not threaten Iran or take military actions, and Iran will not do the same. And then this is not just an agreement to temporarily stop. It will be a total ceasefire across all fronts. So neither the Houthis will be fighting, nor Hezbollah, nor in Iraq, nor anywhere else. So it's a total ceasefire. It encompasses all. And clearly this is a signal about Lebanon and Israeli insistence that Lebanon and Hezbollah are not part of this deal. At the moment, J.D. Vance and the US negotiators are also saying that they are not part of it. But the Iranians, if you look at number 3, they want control of the Strait of Hormuz, which is going to be the most trickiest part, which means that the cost of transportation of oil and energy is going to go up by about $2 million per ship. I don't know what kind of understanding Donald Trump is having or how much pressure. He seems to have lost it. While the negotiations are going on, he's tweeting all kinds of rubbish. Iran is losing big and is going to give up control of Hormuz. So I think the more Donald Trump screams, it means that the more concessions he is making. So I think it's the pain of making concessions to Iran is making him scream so loudly on Twitter and Truth Social. And then, of course, there is US withdrawal, and that is something interesting. It's trying to say that the US should withdraw all of its forces from the various bases. I think this is where Iran will say, okay, let them be there. So I think what the Iranians have put a package together of things that they are willing to give to the US from these 10, make concessions, and things that they want to keep. So they want to keep Hormuz, but I think they will say, okay, we will give up number 4, you give up number 3. So the US gives up control, or less Iranians have control on the Strait of Hormuz, and then US military will get to stay, say, in Qatar and other places. So I think that's how it looks to me, and it should be obvious to J.D. Vance and his team. Okay, so they're talking about airspace, acceptance of enrichment. This is the critical part. So Iran says it wants to have the science of enrichment. So it wants to continue to have the capability to enrich. Termination of UN resolution. This is very big. The Security Council resolution against Iran, because of which many countries are afraid and reluctant to trade with Iran, because it makes trade with Iran illegal. And therefore, so that will be a big give. Donald Trump doesn't care about the UN or its regulations, so he might say, oh, okay, give them number 7, it's no big deal. And then termination of IAEA resolutions, I think that's not going to happen. In fact, Donald Trump is going to insist for more intrusive, more constant monitoring of what's going on with Iran's nuclear facilities if they remain after the negotiations. But the big one is economic restitution and lifting of all sanctions. So a restitution in terms of all the damage that was done to Iran, someone has to pay for it. Donald Trump will probably agree on this and say, well, the Saudis and the Qataris and the Emiratis should pay for this. And we will see what that is, a payment of war compensation, number 10. But let us see if lifting of all sanctions really takes place. And we will see what happens as far as the negotiations are going. There is a lot of pressure on the United States to make a deal. The report on inflation in the US just came out. It's jumped from somewhere from 2.2, 2.3 to 3.3. It seems there has never been such a big spike in the last 4 years. So he can't now scream and brag about how the economy was in a really bad shape under Biden, because it's really tanking under Donald Trump at 3.3 in inflation. This is so much worse than what it was before the war started. And at that time, we were talking about the crisis of affordability. And so now, with this rise in cost of living across the board, the crisis of affordability will be very high. And now I want you to strap up your seat belts and hold on. I'm going to take you on a journey that you have never seen. Something so bizarre. This can happen only in Indian channels. Just watch this coverage and see what this guy is saying. I really, really can't believe what he's saying. Okay, this is, I think, India today. All right, listen to what he's saying.
We are getting some breaking news from USA about the plane of US Vice President Mr. J.D. Vance. It is a fully exclusive story from our Israeli sources. J.D. Vance will not reach Pakistan. There remains a high chance that he will divert his plane in the middle and go back to USA. No one wants to give any credit to Pakistan. I hope the US realizes this, that J.D. Vance should not reach Pakistan. Currently, there are prayers happening in Padmanabhaswamy Temple, where Prime Minister Modi has given the local pundits 3,000 rupees each to start praying that the plane of J.D. Vance disappears before reaching Pakistan. It will not reach. It will never reach Pakistan. I can guarantee you. We are
but here is a video for the gentleman. This is J.D. Vance landing in Pakistan. So much for Israeli sources. America went to war because Israeli sources told them all kind of bullshit, and Donald Trump believed it. And Indian news channels also apparently have Israeli sources that J.D. Vance's plane is not going to go there. It's going to get diverted, etc., etc. But there he is. And in fact, the negotiations have been going on. As I've already shared with you, we are into the second round. So this is another sideshow that is going on with Indian reporters. Look at the obsession and look at that report that Prime Minister Modi has given 3,000 rupees to pundits in a temple. I hope that this is all rubbish and fake news, but this is going viral all over the news. I hope that this is not true. So yeah, but whatever it is a lot of fun going on the sides. I know that it is potentially a fake news or AI generated news. There was another one that was very funny about a reporter throwing away monitors, etc. But the point is, it's highlighting the tension in the region. in South Asia about this. And so Shashi Tharoor wrote a very interesting and serious article, which really says that, look, we should be happy that this meeting is happening in Pakistan. Why should we have such anxiety? And you know what? It's not like, look, it's not as if it's going to change Pakistan overnight from being a poor country to a rich country. It's not going to become a superpower. It's just enjoying a few moments in the sun. That's it. And why people in India are so worried about it and so jealous and so angry about it, it escapes my mind. It's difficult to comprehend as to the anxiety levels in India. Anyway, to ignore that, ignoring what's going on in India at the moment, India has kind of become quite irrelevant to most of this global politics these days. They're just obsessed with domestic issues, and I think that's fair enough. But I want to show you something interesting, which is this report. Not about, sorry, this is not the report that I want to show you. I want to show you a report about Chinese exclusive report by CNN that says that US intelligence indicates China is preparing weapons shipment to Iran amid fragile ceasefire sources. Now, the Chinese have said this is all rubbish. They have completely denied this. The Chinese want to, like, China doesn't need to get involved directly. You know, the Russians have been involved. There's no doubt about it. They have not denied it. I think Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, was asked this question: are you providing intelligence to Iran? Because some of the targets that they hit of US planes and US bases, Iran destroyed all of US bases in the Middle East, more or less, including hitting their AWACS and radar systems. And it clearly showed that Iran had some very good intelligence beyond their intelligence capabilities. So it's very clear that Russia was sharing intelligence which had offensive capabilities. But China's what we know for sure is that it's buying 90% of Iranians' oil. Without China, Iran will not be able to sell its oil, and it would be very difficult for Iranian economy to survive under so much of sanctions and pressures. So that itself is a major support from China to Iran. So unlike India, which in the first time when Donald Trump said, I'll impose sanctions, India simply stopped trading with Iran, stopped buying oil, and the trade is absolutely negligible. And then in the second term, when Trump threatened, India simply panicked and ran away and stopped using Chabahar. So China is not like that. China didn't run away from the sanctions, and they created special companies who deal only with Iranian oil and so on. And so they found a way and the guts to survive. But will they dare to provide weapons? Especially the rumors are that China is going to send something called man's pad, which means that it's like the old shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missiles, bazookas that the US had given. They were called Stinger missiles that the US had given to the Mujahideen in Afghanistan, which simply destroyed helicopters and aircraft of the Soviet Union during the Afghan war. And they say that the Russians had to eventually lose and leave Afghanistan because the Stinger missiles was the number one reason why, because they were causing such devastation. They were all shoulder fired. And so similar shoulder fire man's pad, I think they're called, that is the rumor that is what China is going to provide to Iran. It's going to come from many different countries to give China some kind of deniability. But I mean, we know what China can make and what China cannot make. But what is also interesting is that the last F-15E, which was destroyed by the Iranians, which fell and the two pilots fell off, that was apparently hit by a shoulder-fired weapon. So if many of them come in, what's incredible about it is it's difficult to track. Like, you can't send in. So if you have a major anti-aircraft like an S-400, then you can track it and maybe destroy it. But you'll have to fly low and bomb it. But with a shoulder-fired thing, it's like carrying a guitar, I think, a very heavy guitar, and then you can hide and you can just put it in the back of your truck and you can drive around and pull it out and fire. So it'll be very, very devastating, especially if the United States resumes bombing campaign of Iran. And so that is something I wanted to share. Some photographs that are out there circulating. This is the Iranian delegation. It's a pretty powerful delegation. So you can see Ghalibaf. I don't know how you pronounce his name. He's the Iranian parliament. So basically, Speaker of the Parliament, and of course Abbas Araghchi, who's the foreign minister. So between the two of them, it is very clear that Iran has come with a very serious delegation. And you can see the US delegation is also pretty big. I mean, Vice President and then Steve Witkoff, the main negotiator, is there. And also Jared Kushner, who seems to have become more important than Marco Rubio when it comes to international relations, especially with regards to Middle East. So these are the things. One quick more look at the 10 points. You can freeze the video and take a look at it. So thank you for watching Conversations. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon. I'm right now in Palermo, Italy, in Sicily. I will be in future podcasts that I will do from here. I will share some photographs of the local scenario. So do watch. I mean, I know a lot of you just listen on your cell phones, but do watch, because I will be posting a lot of pictures. So I'll be talking about Iran and what's going on there, but I'll be showing you pictures of Sicily and Palermo and some of the beautiful sites here. So take care. Thank you very much. Bye.